did an Instagram like PDF workout program on the back of a cereal box. So we find a lot of people are still going down that route of just picking their influencer's favorite training program. Can you explain for us why it's so bad to do them, especially when they're super affordable? Our favorite influencer is in shape. Why are those to be avoided, and what other alternatives do we have?
Okay, so I suppose there's two components to this. One is physiological adaptation, and two is hot people using themselves as their case study, where n equals 1 is not necessarily valid proof of being able to produce a result in you. So let's jump into one first, right? Repeated stimulus leads to change, i.e., you spend time in the sun once, you get sunburn. If you spend too much time in the sun, it peels and blisters and it gets nasty, especially if you live in Australia. If you are repeatedly exposed to small to medium-sized amounts of ultraviolet light, you tan, right? And your skin tone, you produce more melanin or whatever. I don't know the process, the physiological process, but your skin becomes darker as a response, right? Training is the same. If you repeatedly expose yourself to the same or similar stimulus, and it has to be repeated, right? Your body is incredibly clever, and your brain goes, oh, I have to bicep curl 12 kilos, not 12 kilos, but I have to bicep curl and be able to move this weight. I need more muscle mass to be able to do that. And holy fuck, this thing just keeps getting. I don't know if I can swear on the podcast. Sorry, dude.
By all means, you
I'm
already
trying
done
to
it
swear
five
a lot.
times, dude.
Oh, Jesus, I'm sorry. But, this thing keeps getting heavier and heavier and heavier. Like, I need more and more muscle mass to move it. It lays muscle mass down. So why you shouldn't necessarily pick and choose and take bits from different people is it needs to be repeated, and it needs to be progressively overloaded. So it needs to be gradually getting harder, because we stimulate, we respond, we stimulate, we respond, right? Or we adapt. When if you did the same workout every day for the next 20 years, it would be hard, and it was hard initially. In not very long, it's not going to be very challenging, and the law of diminishing returns kicks in. We get less of an adaptation until we get none. So you have to stimulate, and you have to progressively overload that stimulus to continue to get an adaptation. Part two of that is, just because somebody looks really cute without any clothes on and they did it, does not mean it will work for you, right? I have a friend. He is 6'4", 100 kilos, Greek god of a man. He walks into the gym and looks at a barbell and just bulks up, right? He went vegan for a bit. He looked very sick. We all teased him about how skinny he got, and then he started eating more and went back to the gym, and he just blew back up again. He's like the same size. I have another friend who trains fairly consistently and just doesn't look like he trains, right? So just because somebody is in really good shape and they are doing something does not mean it will work for you and your body. You might follow somebody who is rampantly abusing steroids or has a really, really, really extensive training history, and they might be doing an absolute truckload of training. You may not be ready for that same amount. That same routine might not work for you. You actually need somebody to assess you and to appropriately plan for you based off your exercise history and based off you and your personality and what you're like and your needs and your wants and your goals. A PDF program, I don't think does that. I'm yet to find the one that does, but I'm also not in the habit of buying them. So, you might have the one. I don't know. Not you, but, someone out there might have found the one. But typically affordable things are more accessible, and I like accessible. Not everybody can afford to have something tailored for them. But if you were to be doing something that was off the back of a cereal box per se, needs to be a repeated stimulus, needs to be progressively overloaded, and you need to be able to adjust it for yourself to make sure that it's helping you get towards goals.